I'm pleased with the position group right now. We got some talented young players, and they've been coming together well so far. It's a good safety unit, and happy with their progress so far.
How is Woods looking?
Woods is looking good. You know, he's a young guy who's come in. He came in mid-year, and he's picked up the system well. He's a guy that studies hard off the field, and he puts in the time in the classroom, and he's progressed well so far.
Brian, the news came out yesterday that Florida suspended 7 players, including their top wide receiver. Is that going to affect how you prepare in any way to face Florida's receivers?
Well, right now we're just focusing on trying to get better. You know, we're at a point, that's a few weeks in the future, and we're just trying to get better, from a standpoint of our assignments and getting guys lined up. We got a lot of new guys in there, and we're focused on getting better.
How much has Tyree Cannell been able to really embrace that leadership role?
He's embraced it. It's something that we've been talking to him about, stepping up and being a leader in the group, and he's done a good job of that so far. He's a guy that communicates well back there. He knows the system well. He's been in it for a year, and he's the most experienced guy. So he's done a nice job, taking some of the younger guys under his wing and showing them the right way and how we do things and how we practice. He's a good example for them.
We've seen Brad Hawkins in here.
Brad has come in. He's done a good job. He's still learning, but he's flashes a lot of talent. He's got good man-to-man coverage skills, and he's a good athlete, and he'll definitely be able to help us back there.
Are there any cornerbacks that are like a Watson or a St. Juste that are also working with the safeties to kind of give you more depth there?
Right now, really no corners. They're concentrating on playing corner, so we haven't really run into that situation just yet.
And has Jalen Kelly-Powell been working both with you and corners? Because he was coming in as a safety, and I think we heard that he was going to do some stuff at corner also.
Well, he's a guy that has great man-to-man coverage skills. He has really good man-to-man coverage skills, and he has the ability to do both. So we'll see how that goes. But right now, he's done a good job at safety and learning the position.
How deep can you go in a regular game rotation when it comes to your corners and your safeties? I mean, how many do you need, and how many you think you can play per game?
I think how many we need kind of depends on the opponent that we're playing, and how many receivers they're putting in the game. A lot of times we'll try to match what they're doing, so that depends on it. Right now we're trying to figure that out. I mean, we've 10, 11 practices in, however many practices it is. We're just taking it one day at a time and trying to figure it out. So we're still in an open competition and trying to see which guys can play and which guys can't.
With regard to Florida news, do you find yourself having to kind of persuade the players to not pay attention to that stuff that kind of comes out?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're just focusing on ourselves and trying to get better every day. We still have a long way to go, and just working as individuals to improve our techniques and work at our craft.
Which freshmen are standing out to you?
At my position group, they're all in there in the same boat. You mentioned Woods earlier. I think he's done a nice job. He's a physical guy, but they're all just learning how to practice right now. So we're trying to get them practicing the right way and learning the system.
Brian, I know that you don't directly coach Brian Monet, but when he's put on the Polynesian Player of the Year watch list, kind of got me curious as far as like Polynesian influence on football, college football, and your experience, guys that maybe you've played with, maybe guys that you've coached. Can you add to that a little bit?
Definitely a lot of good players, that I've been around. Just on a professional level, been some good players, and he's one of them. He's a good player. He's done a nice job for us. Worked hard. He's a load inside to move. And he's a guy that's been working hard to get better. Looking forward to him having a good year.
Are there any guys that you've played out or played with or had relationships with, Polynesian guys?
There's been a few, over the years. Sione Puha, he was with us when I was with the New York Jets. He kind of stands out. Bo, he was a really good player. But there's been a ton of good players, you know, that have been around over the years.
Brian, since the secondary is so young, what are your goals for this position group, and what goes into getting better every day?
Well, some of our goals, obviously, you know, when there's a big play out on the field, you know, an explosive run or pass play, that's kind of on us. We're the last line of defense, so just eliminating those explosive plays is an area that we concentrate on. But I think the big thing that we're focusing on this year is creating more turnovers. When we have an opportunity to get a turnover, be it an interception or a fumble, forced fumble or recovered fumble, you know, that's something I think that we focused on and we want to get more of this year.
You're still doing a lot of teaching at this point with some younger guys?
Yes, I mean, it's a lot of teaching, a lot of fundamental and footwork. At this point, you know, guys coming in from high school, they're used to doing things a certain way. So just teaching them, you know, the way that we do it and our base fundamentals, breaking some old bad habits. That's a lot of it right now.
You spent so much time in the NFL ranks.
Mm-hmm.
How did you have to change your coaching approach when you came here? Was the expectation maybe that teaching mode in terms of how you went about coaching these guys?
Yeah, I think in the NFL you have to teach fundamentals, but a lot of guys already have a solid base, you know, for the most part. In college, you almost start from scratch in some instances as far as the fundamentals that you have to teach, and you got to spend a little bit more time on it. So I think that's a little bit more of a difference. In the NFL, I think you're teaching more scheme, and the volume of defenses that you have may be a little bit larger.
Does it test your patience as a coach a little bit more in a certain way?
At times it does. Yeah, at times it definitely does.
Is Jordan Glasgow working out with you guys, or is he more at that Piper spot?
You know, those guys, those spots are kind of almost interchangeable. So we got a bunch of guys that have the ability to do both. So he's definitely a guy that could fill in that role if we needed him to.
What have you seen from Josh Metellus so far?
Josh has been solid. You know, he's done a good job communicating back there. He, along with Tyree, they've been kind of our leaders as far as the communication is concerned. And he's a guy that competes. He's very competitive, and he wants to be good. And he's a smart player. He's very instinctive, and you tell him something one time, and he's picked it up. So he's a guy that you don't have to worry about too much back there.
Brian, what prompted the move with Josh? Because, I mean, last year working with linebackers, what prompted the move for him for safety?
Like I said, they're kind of interchangeable, you know, and if there's certain guys that have that skill set that they can move back and forth, and he's one of those guys that can do that.
What has he improved on most?
I think most he's improved probably on his man-to-man coverage skills. He's done a nice job in man-to-man coverage.